Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. I had a quick topic for you because I had this guy out and it was just making me think about some questions I've been asked before. So I'll be brief, but I have had people before talking about really what excites them about breeding reptiles. Not just keeping them as pets, but the things that make them want to be a breeder specifically, right? And a lot of times, people have said to me, I really do love ball pythons. I love all the colors and stuff that they come in. But the thing that I like most about breeding reptiles is line breeding them. Taking a look that already exists, often, just the wild type, because not all species have any morphs at all, and improving that look through line breeding, over many generations, holding back the best offspring that exhibit that trait you're looking for the best, whether it's a color or a pattern or just the saturation of color or whatever the case may be, right? The contrast between two parts of the pattern, whatever it is. And in ball pythons, there's very, very little line breeding being done, right? And so they're like, I just end up picking other species to work with, even though I really love ball pythons. And there's some morphs that I would love to line breed to improve upon, but it just doesn't seem like something that's really done a lot in the ball python world. Whoa! Sorry, this cabinet behind me just closed all the way that I'm leaning against. Hey buddy, how are you? I'm just filming a vlog. You gonna sit with Daddy? So anyway, there's Caspian. Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So what I just wanted to say real briefly is there is absolutely room in the ball python industry for line breeding if that's what you want to do. Absolutely room for that, right? So take Brian Gundy, for example. Superb breeder. For Goodness Snakes is his business. He has his yellow striped pieds, right? It's pieds, it's just normal pieds, at least it used to be, that he held back exquisite looking specimens years ago, bred them, and held back the best offspring again, raised them up, bred them, and over many generations he has these pieds that are just head and shoulders above all other pieds, right? They just, as far as the single gene pied goes. So when he then takes his yellow striped pied line, mixes them into other morphs, they're incredible, these pieds he can make. And I haven't seen much from him in his yellow striped pied making combos in a while. That doesn't mean he's not doing it. I just haven't seen them, but I would love to get my hands on a yellow striped pied. And I'm sure they're worth a lot more money than a regular single gene pied, right? Even though the gene itself is the same, when you're line breeding, you're really kind of in a roundabout way, you're working with all the other genes that aren't Mendelian to try and affect that trait, the pied in this case, in certain ways, right? So anyway, I've got this guy out because he's what made me think about this. This is a tri-stripe, right? Really cool gene. Hasn't been worked with a ton yet. There's some really awesome combos out there for sure, but it's not been nearly as worked into things as a clown, for example, or a pied. This is a recessive trait, and as you can see, it's a tri-stripe, right? And this guy, we waited quite a while to buy into the tri-stripe project because we wanted a really, really nice one that's actually a tri-stripe over most of his body. You can see that from about 2 inches down his neck all the way down his body to about the last, I'd say 5 inches of tail, maybe 4 inches of tail. But all the rest of his body is a perfect, unbroken tri-stripe. And so, even though people produce these visual tri-stripes, they're not always like this, right? Very rarely are they like this. They're broken up. You see how his tail is? Many tri-stripes are like that through most of their body. I didn't want that. I wanted a tri-stripe that looked like actually a tri-stripe over most of them, right? So we waited and waited and waited. We passed on some beautiful tri-stripes until we found this guy, and then we pounced, right? We bought him immediately when we saw him because he was what we were waiting for. So if you're gonna be line breeding, that's the kind of thing you have to do. You have to be patient. Your original stock is very, very, very important. So if I wanted to, I could line breed tri-stripes for the longest unbroken tri-stripe I could possibly make, right? So if I breed him, get some babies, I would keep any babies that were really, really, really nice tri-stripes that had almost an unbroken tri-stripe all the way down their body. And then I would breed them. I'd keep back only the best, again. And eventually, what you would hope for is that from the beginning of the neck to the tip of the tail, and we're talking maybe in 7, 8, 9 generations, but that their whole body would just be an unbroken 3 stripes. That would be incredible. I would love to do something like that. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of generations, a lot of babies, right? Which in the ball python industry is not a popular way to do things. Unfortunately, people are very impatient. They grab up the first available baby of any morph they want to work with. And they don't have the patience to wait for the best sometimes. Lots of breeders do. I'm not saying that nobody does, but a lot of breeders don't. And even some of the ones that say they do probably don't always, right? Because the hot new morph is more immediately valuable than a morph that's existed for a long time and is widely available, right? So anyway, I just wanted to address this quickly that because I've been asked a lot, about this particular thing, which I find interesting, that there's a lot of people who wonder about this. But yes, you absolutely could line breed ball pythons just like you could line breed anything. And I think it would be incredibly valuable. It would add an element to the ball python industry, which is already very strong, that is not currently in existence hardly. There's only a small handful of people truly line breeding. There's plenty of breeders who hold back their best, right? That's a basic concept in the ball python world, in the breeding world. You hold back your best. But that's different from true line breeding. I don't know a lot of people that are really invested in producing potentially dozens or even hundreds of babies of the same morph, all in order to get the best of the best of the best, right? That takes quite the the patience, and only a certain personality type is willing to do that. But if you wanted to, you absolutely could, and I really truly believe you would be successful in that. It would also be a way to set yourself apart, set your business apart, set your ball python collection apart without just going out and dropping $10,000 on some ridiculously crazy and awesome new combo. What's up, buddy? You got something in your mouth? Did you get a hair in your mouth? I'm sorry. I'll help you in just a minute, okay? So, that's one thing people do a lot, is they're like, oh, well, I have to be on the cutting edge of some new combo, right? Or if a new morph becomes available, I have to get that morph, even if it's just crazy out of my price range. Well, you don't have to do that to set yourself apart. That's so yucky. Ooh. Go wipe it off. Go wipe it off. Don't wipe it on me. Don't wipe it on me, you little grossy. Oh, you're so yucky. You. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say was that would be a new way to kind of set yourself apart, right? Thanks, man. I really wanted your spit all over me. So I'm going to go now and clean myself up, but don't hesitate to try new things in the ball python world, right? Including line breeding. And that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, we are the Reptile Barn. Aren't we the Reptile Barn? Huh? Huh? Oh, Caspian.